So there's this Cheerio, right? Now, he's a regular Cheerio, not even a honey, just a plain old Cheerio. He kind of lives in a shack and has health problems because he's not getting enough good nutrition. So one day he's looking outside his window and he sees this honey nut Cheerio. And he says to himself, I want to be like that Cheerio. So he goes out to the place he works, where he works with small children, helping them get to better lives, and he gets a job promotion. And so now he lives in a apartment building and manages to fix some of his deficiencies. So then one day he thinks to himself, oh, I'm living the life, regardless of whether some of those deficiencies still exist, and he still kind of looks like a slightly less deformed version of Voldemort. I mean, the Dark Lord. Protect against demons. Anyway, but then a honey cinnamon apple nut Cheerio walks past his window, and he says to himself, I want to be like that Cheerio. So he goes out and again working at that wonderful place that helps children become doctors and veterinarians and physicists and chemists and world-renowned speakers, and asks for a job promotion, which he gets, and becomes an apple cinnamon Cheerio. By now, all of his deficiencies are fixed, and he lives in a nice one-story house, and he has a small car. Granted, it's 50 years old, but it's a car. But one day, a chocolate-dipped apple cinnamon Cheerio walks by his window. And he says to himself, say it with me, he wants to be like that Cheerio. So then he goes out, and now he runs that place that helps children for so many years, and he's slowly but surely making it a much better place. But one day, he sees the birthday cake Cheerio, and he says to himself, I want to be like that Cheerio. So he quits his job and works at a place with much better pay and has a chance for him to get even more, because by this point he's realized, okay, I know myself. I want to move up in the world constantly. So he goes and does that, and now he lives in a 2-story house with a wife and a Prius. But one day, he sees a birthday cake chocolate-covered Cheerio. And he says to himself, yet again, I want to be like that Cheerio. So this took a lot longer than others because he was a new employee, so he couldn't just walk up to his boss and ask for a promotion and be given it right away. But he worked hard at it for months and months, and he finally got that job promotion to be a birthday cake, a chocolate cover or Cheerio. So now he lives in a mansion with 2 wives, a Prius, and 1 in solid gold. Yeah. He's moving up. Now, one day, an apple cinnamon birthday cake chocolate covered Cheerio walks past his door. I don't know where this Cheerio is going, probably to get milk, but he looks at him and he says to himself, our own, the hero of this joke, says to himself, I want to be like that Cheerio. So he goes out again, works for a very long time, doing double shifts and days and weeks doing nothing but in this crummy little cubicle. And now he manages this one of the subsectors in this big company at which he works at that deals primarily in sewage placement. So it's not that fun anyways. And he soon becomes this chocolate-covered cinnamon apple birthday cake Cheerio. And now he lives in a castle. He has 2 Priuses, 1 private jet in solid gold, 3 wives, about 50 kids by now because, 3 wives. He has time. And also the 2 cars he had from his previous time, a Ferrari in both cherry red and solid gold, and owns racing horses that he's surprisingly getting a lot of money off the betting from. I mean, they were really good horses. There was one called Smokey, which was a dapple gray with, oddly enough, two wide eyes, and anyone who knows horses, which means means that instead of brown, you get horses with blue eyes, which is rather always beautiful to look at. Anyway, but one day, this chocolate-covered birthday cake Cheerio, with cinnamon on top, and marshmallows drenched over it, walks by him as he goes to sit to watch the horse races. And our wonderful hero, decides, he says to himself, I want to be like that Cheerio. So he goes out, and after months, possibly years of hard work, he manages to secure the job promotion. And just when he does that, a golden Cheerio walks by his CEO door. And he says to himself, I want to be like that Cheerio. So he gets in that private jet from previous, and he flies to the Golden Cheerio Island. And after several days of rituals, people screaming ooga booga and at him, the ritual is finally complete, and he is finally a Golden Cheerio. Now, at the Golden Cheerio Island, where he's decided to stay while he celebrates his newfound end-all be-all, he sees 3 lines for special drinks. The first one he goes to is milk, but that line is so long that it isn't even moving, and he ends up getting into politics with the guy behind him. And Cheerios, you can't get into politics with Cheerios. Long story short, he ended up trying to run for president while in that line, and he failed, and he got kicked out of the party, and is partially exiled now. So anyway, he shifts over to the lemonade line, but there's not anyone there, so it pretty much just is a long question of who's ready, and he's kind of worried about being spotted out as someone who's exiled. So he goes to the fruit punch line, because guess what? There's no punch line.